These two cats are fighting again, man. They always fucking fight. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of hostility. These are not my cats. I'm living in a home in Los Angeles where the woman that I rent from has abandoned the home. She has gone to New York to live, which is fine. I'm renting it. It's a good deal. It's by the comedy clubs. It's right in central, LA in a nice area. I don't want to tell you really where it is because fucking I don't need people knocking on my door trying to tell me about QAnon. Okay, well, I'm waiting for Postmates. But what they've done is they've left the two cats here, and all they talk about is how much they love the cats. They love the animals, but they've abandoned them. They've abandoned the animals that they supposedly love. And her and her daughter, I mean, they all, when you bring up, they go, oh, is the cat okay? Is the cat okay? Well, come see it or take it. Get it out of here. And when one of the cats dies, which will happen, there's going to be crying and people are going to be upset. But it's like, if you care about the animals, be here for the animals. We've overdosed in this country on animals, dogs and cats. If you are young and you're in your 20s and you want to accomplish anything, which most of you don't, but if you truly do, you should not have dogs or cats. I'm telling you right now, and this is going to be unpopular with a lot of you, because a lot of you, stop fighting. A lot of you, I don't know what they're fighting over, resources. There's enough here. They're like territorial over the litter box. Cats are so disgusting. The litter box always smells like shit. Cat food smells bad. Cats are filthy creatures. They're like mops, They just soak up all the dirt and the dust. Things live on them, fleas and ticks, and God only knows. There's a whole fucking ecosystem living on these beasts. And dogs are not much better, folks. They're not much better. And I know a lot of you are going to get angry right now because you don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. This is Tim Dillon's holiday message. Are you ready for it? Because I don't shy away from controversy. I had Kyle Kashuv on the Patreon. He's the Parkland kid that wants more guns, and he says the N-word, and he lets it fly on Xbox Live. And I had him in my home, and I bought him sushi, and that ungrateful fuck didn't say thank you, and I should have opened some hot lead into his abdomen and see how he liked it, because I spent $100 on a sushi platter, and I got 3 pints of ice cream from Salt and Straw, which was another $50 fucking dollars. Where your Patreon money goes is feeding this fucking Jew. And furthermore, he comes into the house, he shits on Ben for vaping. Ben does vape a lot, but he's made a lot of positive changes in his life, and he doesn't need to hear shit from this little kid, okay? Who's famous because he accidentally didn't get killed. And so he's yelling at Ben for vaping, and poor Ben gets really mad, and Ben never gets mad at anybody. But Ben's like, hey, man, I used to smoke cigarettes and drink, and now I just vape. And it's like, Ben, don't let this little prick get under your skin. Ben, can you get the Pokeball is here. That's not a euphemism for crack. That's a literal Pokeball. Just sit it on the table. I'll get to it later. The key to the Pokeball, folks, is a Sriracha Ponzu. You gotta, the Sriracha, what is it, Sriracha? It's not Sriracha, right? It's Sriracha. Yeah, that's the move. But anyway, so Kashuv gets here, and we also have Sam Tripoli for an hour, talking about QAnon and Frazzle Trip, and, talking about the Hillary Clinton kid cookbook. So that'll be out too. You're missing a lot by not. I'm really giving I'm really giving a great unsubscribe from the Patreon pitch right here. So Kashuv gets here. Then he starts shitting on Oscar because Oscar's fat. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows Oscar from Instagram. He's the fat cat. I'm like, number one, Oscar, if you shave him, is not that fat. He's not morbidly obese. He's a fat cat because cats are supposed to be fat. And then Kashuv's like, no, animals aren't supposed to be fat. It's not natural. I'm like, what about elephants, bears, whales, There's a lot of fucking animals that should be fat, Kashuv. You know-it-all little prick who's 18 years old. He doesn't know anything. Sweet kid, but he was really testing us last night. And he comes in here and he just fucking starts popping off, calling me a boomer because he says I don't text right. It's just out of control. No respect. No respect. Okay? So my point, folks, about the animals is, and this is what I mean. I don't shy away from controversy. We bring it to you raw, uncensored. I go at Kashuv. Now, some of you are going to be mad at me because I push him on his narrative because he's like, guns, guns, guns. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Here is an AK-47. And I know that every time I push back a little, I go, wait a minute, is there a better way to do it? All of you get mad because you think, oh, you're a Hollywood shill. You're being paid. No one's taking your guns. What I'm saying is if anyone comes on the show and I'm going to push back at what they're saying, number one, because it doesn't necessarily make a good episode to agree with somebody. It's actually not a good episode, but many of you are too insecure in your own beliefs. So all you do is listen to people that you agree with already because your lives are meaningless. So you just turn on whatever garbage that someone will agree with you already because you just want to hear that you're right. So you can go back to your loveless home and choke down a pork chop and then go to sleep, knowing that you're in the right. You're on the right side of history, pal. So yeah, I do have questions about guns. I do think there's a better way to do it. You should make guns harder to get. You shouldn't take them away, but you should make them harder to get. No, they're already hard to get. Well, shut up. They're not as hard as they should be. I think most people would agree with that. Most sober, rational people would agree with that. So I push back a little bit of Kashuv, okay? I know that online you're all psychopaths. Most people are in the center. Most people don't care. Most people don't want to, rehabilitate Stalin or Hitler. That's just not what they do. They're sitting in a cubicle with little Christmas cards on it. They have a family. They're just trying to get by. They're not into, the extremes. I talk to people all the time, and it's like some people just online all day, every fucking day. Take a walk. Take a walk. But we have Kashuv on here, and now that Kashuv's been here, I think everyone should have a gun, and most people should get shot. I'm now pro school shootings. Because I've interviewed him, I want no gun restrictions. I want everybody that wants a gun to have a gun, and I want schools to be shot up randomly. So, because these fucking 18-year-olds, this kid comes over here, the sushi doesn't say thank you. There's no thank you. Anyway, the point I'm saying about the dogs and cats, here's what I'm saying about dogs and cats for Christmas. If you're having a Christmas event at your house, have the decency to put your dog or cat to sleep before you have your family there. Put them down. Put them down. Especially if you don't have a big home, if your home is not already impressive, if it's not, nobody wants to smell the dog or the cat, the mangy, put them down. Put them to sleep. And I know it's a controversial message. Put your animals to sleep and focus on yourself. You made a mistake. Learn to love yourself. Get rid of the dog. Get rid of the cat. They do not love you. They just want food. Yes, they're fun to have when you've reached something in life, they're fun to have. But when you're struggling, you got to get people to watch your. Do you know how many people I see online that have people watch their dog? Can you watch my dog? There's a whole industry of people that bring losers in to watch their animals. Kill them. Put them down. Get rid of them. It's if you cannot handle the responsibility of having an animal, get rid of it. You are giving yourself an excuse to be a loser. I can't do it. My dog, my cat. You've adopted another person, another life form that is needy, just like yourself. You're needy. You need someone to come and feed you. You need someone to come and walk you. Now you've adopted another loser like yourself who needs constant attention, and then you try to pawn it off on other people because you can't afford. If you're paying, that's one thing. If you have a professional come in, That's a different game. But if you're just pawning your animals off on your friends and family and or your children on your friends and family, you should put them to sleep. Your animals and your children. Put them to sleep. Smother them. Smother your children. If you had a child and it's 2 or 3 years old and it's too much pressure, smother them in their sleep. Sometimes I say lines like that because I think it'd be a very funny place to put an ad. Like right after smother your children in their sleep, I could start talking about Ridge Wallet. I just think that's I'm not serious about smothering your children. I'm not serious about killing your children. I'm really not even serious about putting your animals down. What I'm saying is I'm making a point in a funny way. My point is that far too many people have pets. It's gotten out of control. Far too many people make their pets their identity. It's very sad and it's very disgusting. And we all see that you're doing it. And listen, I put pictures of Oscar up online all the time because he's funny, okay? Because he's been deplatformed. He lost a social media account for publishing Nancy Pelosi's address. He's been accused of trying to violently overthrow the government. He's been kicked off a lot of crowdfunding sites. So when I platform him, it's because he lacks a platform. But enough with the animals all the time. You know what I'm saying, folks. Use your own judgment. But what I'm saying is you just have to, enough already. My father and his wife bring their dog everywhere. My father and his wife have 3 dogs. You want to hear about these dogs? I'm going to tell you about these dogs, okay? My father is married to a lovely woman. She's very liberal, which is great. Her parents are very liberal, but they're lovely people, and I enjoy them, okay? How liberal is she? Here are the names of the dogs. Fred, for Frederick Douglass. By the way, my father and his wife are white, just in case you were wondering. White, like I'm white. Blotchy, red, Irish white. Pale, translucent, burning. Skin cooks like a red lobster in the sun. White, okay? White boys. Suburban white. She might be a little Cuban, whatever. Fred for Frederick Douglass. What's the other dog's name? Maya. For Maya Angelou. Maya's a lily white dog. Maya's a white dog, looks like a white supremacist. The third dog is named, Ruth, for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Maya Angelou, and Frederick Douglass are their 3 dogs that they have. They brought them to my grandmother's house one year, and my Uncle Tommy, who is like a drunken lunatic, but I do like because I appreciate that in a person. He has a Make America Great Again hat, and he's great. He's just a fun guy. He kind of lets it fly when he's doing the barbecue. I think he had some business deal didn't go well with Jews once, and he's like, maybe little Herschel can't go to summer camp this year. And he's like flipping burgers. I enjoy that, I like when people lean in, He came up to me once. He's like, your lifestyle's no problem with me. I'm like, well, thanks so much. Thanks for calling it a lifestyle. I appreciate it. Should I go die of AIDS now on the kitchen floor just to make, So he's nuts. I mean, he's a crazy person, but I appreciate that I like him. I like him better than the liberal people. Like I rather him, This is why Trump gets elected, because you'd rather like Kamala Harris drops out today and all these people they're throwing a fit. It's like knuckle it down. Get ready for the fight. Stop tearing each other apart. You want diversity? I'll support Cynthia McKinney. Do you know who Cynthia McKinney is? She's the black 4-term congresswoman from Georgia who punched a fucking cop on Capitol Hill and questions 9/11 all the time. I'll support her. Phone bank for Cynthia. Hi, this is Tim Dillon. Have you heard about Cynthia McKinney? She just wandered into the Gaza Strip and just started going crazy one day. I support her. Bring her in. Pull the lever for synth. But So they got these 3 dogs. They bring them to my grandmother's house for her birthday. My Uncle Tommy loses his mind. He's had a few drinks. He's like, you know that my mother hates dogs. You're fucking selfish. You're selfish. And by the way, he's 100% in the right. Leave the animals home. Don't travel with, nobody wants your animals in their house. Now, Tommy's maybe wrong about a lot of things. Race relations, gender dynamics, who you should and shouldn't support in World War II. I don't know. But he was right about that. Get your fucking dogs out of the house. Too much with my dad will just text me a photo of his dog. He's like, hello. Fred says hello. And I get it because the kids are raised. The kids are raised and there's nothing really to love except boomers didn't really love the kids that much anyway. The boomsy booms, the boomers really weren't that into the kids. The boomers would bring the kids to do things they wanted to do. That's why me and my generation saw movies we shouldn't have seen when we were 5 because our parents wanted to go. So they would just sit us in the theater next to them while they saw Basic Instinct. While Sharon Stone's getting plowed and you're fucking 9, but it is what it is because your parents weren't going to get a babysitter for you because it was about them. And now the dogs, and this is why so many boomers love their animal. And I'm not hating on you. Listen, I love animals. Everybody loves animals. I'm just saying it's a little too much. You know what I mean. We all know what I mean now. There's people walking around New York City pushing strollers with dogs in them. It's fucking insane. It is crazy. And for whatever reason, the boomers have gotten really into animals. The boomers have really gotten into dogs, little dogs and cats. And they're more into that than they were ever into being parents. So it's very interesting to watch that happen because they're a little older now. And they're they love doting on an animal. I'm just saying as the holidays come up, and you're asking people to go to your homes, just keep in mind that not everybody's in love. Everybody loves a dog that's clean and well kept, and a cat is fun. But let's not have a barn when you walk in a house. You know what I mean? This house that I'm staying at, sometimes when you walk in, it's you like walking into a barn. When I first got here, there were multiple dogs, multiple cats, and you'd be walking in and you hear, when you're at somebody's door, I fucking cringe when I'm at somebody's door and I hear the fucking panting and the fucking already I hear the collars jingling and the panting and the barking and the screaming because I know I'm going to walk into a pigsty. I'm going to walk into a pigsty. I'm going to walk into a barn. And I'm going to walk into a disgusting home that smells like a wet dog. If you need, go get a potato and put a Marlboro Light in its mouth and watch that and then press play on your phone.